I have the pleasure of having Mr. Krishnan here with us today. Krishnan is Joint President HR for Hindalco and also a personal friend for a long time. Thank you for being here, Krishnan.
Thank you, Anand. It's wonderful interacting with you.
Thank you so much for accepting our invite and being here and seeing the kind of amazing work that you've been done. You already might have guessed what my first question is. Yeah. So, what role does technology play in your HR strategy?
Well, Anand, technology actually is the backbone of implementation of any strategy, especially in Aditya Birla Group and in Hindalco. A strategy is as good as it gets implemented, else it's just a couple of statements in a piece of paper. So we use multiple platforms, like for example, we do our entire human resource data is on PeopleSoft, what internally we call as Purnatha, which has been customized to capture the entire end-to-end employee lifecycle data in PeopleSoft. Then on that we have used Oracle Cloud to build a lot of data, to build a lot of analytics, which feeds in on a regular basis, which also helps us to take decisions at the right time. In addition to all of this, the entire learning for us, right from Coursera to Skillsoft to our own curated learning courses that we have, is available to us on a mobile device through the Gyanodaya Virtual Campus. Now, what this does is it makes it gives the employees the flexibility to learn whenever they want. So time is not a constraint. Medium is not a constraint. The ball is in their court and gives them the flexibility to pace their learning and to achieve whatever they had set it up at the beginning of the year or whenever they decide to do so. In addition to this, what technology also does is that, in fact, technology is also an integral aspect of the HR strategy. So when we have strategies, we have aspirations and we have hows. There are 5 aspirations and there are a few hows that we have. The hows actually help us in describing to us internally in terms of how are we going to achieve the HR strategies or the HR aspirations. And technology is inbuilt or ingrained into these hows, so that whenever the time comes for implementing the HR strategy, technology is always intertwined and integrated with it.
Thank you so much for that. So with that being said, Krishnan, I would really want to understand, how do you approach workforce planning and talent management at Hindalco?
Well, that's a great question, Anand. Workforce planning for us, we use the strategic workforce planning method, or SWP in short. Now, SWP actually takes into consideration there's a demand and there's a supply. So demand, the supply does include in terms of the entire employee base. We look into the history of what has been the attritions, what is people who are expected to retire and separate for various reasons and so on and so forth. And we do put a estimation to it basis the past data and future data. We also factor into consideration aspects like what is the impact of a new competition coming into the market, and what impact does it have on attrition, or for example what's the impact of employee engagement on attrition, or what's the impact of GDP growth on attrition. So that we are
that's interesting.
Yeah, so we want to be closer to the numbers as far as possible. When it comes to the demand side, we look at in terms of what are the macroeconomic indicators which are there, which will impact our demand for employees. We also have a hard look in terms of what is our own business strategy, and therefore what are the different different facets of employees whom we would require over a period of time, in terms of deep skilling, to to somebody with a general management experience, to in terms of which parts of the world there would they be available, so that we are able to track them, map them, and we are able to get them on board at the right time. And given the fact that as an organization we are into so many projects and into so many initiatives where probably there's nobody in the country, and there are hardly few players across the globe, and we are doing many industry first things. It is very imperative for us that we follow this exercise meticulously, so that we continue to maintain our competitive advantage and we deliver our value to the stakeholders and shareholders, as our tagline says, engineering better futures.
Krishnan, in your vast experience, you would have seen many changes within the same organization, change initiatives brought at larger level. What bases your experience? What are some of the things you would share with people who are listening to this on what they can be prepared with before taking a change initiative?
Well, that's a very, very pertinent question, Anand, and thanks for asking. Change, the very word, it means that whatever anyone has been doing, any microcosm has been doing, we are expecting that microcosm to do something completely different. It could be minor, it could be major, and that's where the entire aspect of preparation for change comes in. Now, depending on the scale and depending on what the need is, the preparation has to be there. For example, in case of organizations, when we undertake a large change initiative, first and foremost is to clarify in terms of what's the objective of change, what is the need for change, what will happen if we don't change. And it is essential that we do this right from bottoms up, and we shouldn't be leaving any aspect or any element of the employee in this entire part. For example, when in Renukot, when we were doing this parivartan, we included over 10,000 people, right from the workmen to the supervisory cadre to even to the contractual workforce. That's a huge change initiative that we have brought about. So once that alignment has been brought, then the next step would be into have certain representatives and form certain committees wherein we have representatives from every level of employees who would be impacted, who would be involved in this entire change initiative. Now, how that would be beneficial is they will have a voice in the change initiative process. They will very clearly articulate to say what will work and what will not work. Ultimately, change is going to impact them, and the success of change is going to be in terms of how will these people implement change at the grassroots level. So it is extremely important for us that we include them in part of every core committee, every decision making process. And for all these things to work, I guess first and foremost what we need to work on is building trust. Having transparency, having credibility, and building trust. If we are able to do these three things, and these three things does take time, but it's worth the time. The moment you have built this foundation of trust, credibility, and transparency, change management initiatives can be run with relatively ease and smoothly.
Thank you so much. I think that was extremely insightful, and I'm sure a lot of our viewers would also get a lot of nuggets basis your experience. How can I allow you to leave without sharing your experience so far at the AMA event?
Wow, Anand, I mean, this has been a wonderful event. There have been multiple events I have attended over the years, but I guess what stood out for me in this particular event was the warmth of your entire folks who have been managing this, and B, everyone seemed to be informed about what the theme is, what are the next thing going to happen, who's doing what. So it became, and it was the entire experience was extremely seamless. And very memorable. I wish AMA the very best, and I look forward to coming to it the next time also.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure interacting with you.
Thank you, Anand. Thank you so much.